What's up, everybody? This is Supreme King back again with another video, and I just wanted to piggyback off my last video, which was, I believe, titled AAA Game versus AAA Experience, and this is going to be the part 2 to that video, where I'm going to call it The Power of a Hidden Gem. Hidden gems are great. Hidden gems out there are games where you can find very good quality experiences in a very cheap price, a game that the general public has pretty much forgotten about or they didn't even know exist. And then you find these games and those games end up being better than some of the bigger budget games that are out today. We've seen a few of them in the past. There are a lot of games where even the community just mods every little piece of it on the PC side to make that game just the best gaming experience that they possibly can. For example, Skyrim. That's a game that literally would never die, right? It may not ever go away. But the community has added so much to it that even if you jump back in there now, it might be something in there that you never seen before that you get to see for the first time ever. And that's the power of a hidden gem for some people. Even though Skyrim wasn't really a hidden gem, it's still a gem, right? But there are other games out there that are hidden gems in every category. And I just wanted to touch on a couple of them that were hidden gems for me, and maybe they might be hidden gems for you. The first one I want to talk about is actually Transformers War of Cybertron. That was a game that was just so good to me as far as like a Transformers game. It might be peak Transformers. There's still Fall of Cybertron, but War of Cybertron just came out of nowhere really and just set a certain standard that unfortunately the other Transformer games going past that outside of Fall just did not live up to the standard. And we haven't really seen any other game out there do the same thing that they did. But I remember playing this game and just being blown away by the experience, being able to freely transform back and forth from the actual robot to the car version of the robot or tank version or its flight mode, depending on if you had an Autobot or a Decepticon. It was a cool experience, very cool. But unfortunately nowadays, if you didn't have the physical version, it's been delisted everywhere and you can no longer purchase it. However, for you Steam Deck people out there, I'm pretty sure there's a way for you to get it. If you're getting a Steam Deck or if you have a PC, this is a must play. I put a video out last week about Code Vein. Code Vein was a game where I did like the experience overall. If you're looking for a Souls game to try out, but you don't want to go directly into Dark Souls or Elden Ring and you just want to tiptoe in, this game right here has got you covered. As well as if you're into anime in any way, this does have that anime feel to it. It does have a story unique to its own that you won't find in other Souls games. The boss fights aren't too difficult, but you will get a good experience playing them, and it will get you a little bit more used to trying to fight a boss when you go into a regular Souls game. It's definitely not as good as Elden Ring, but it is still a step in that direction as far as the Souls game that I think anybody should try if they haven't gone directly to Elden Ring first. Another game that I wanted to highlight that I consider a hidden gem is actually Remnant from the Ashes. Now, I'm not too sure how many people got into Remnant from the Ashes, but Remnant from the Ashes was more like Code Vein, where it's just like a Souls game in itself. But this one, you don't use swords and shields, that type of thing. You're definitely just using a gun. You will have a melee weapon here and there, but you're actually going to go in guns blazing. You're going to have shotguns, automatic guns, handguns, and you're also going to have a melee weapon. The cool thing about this one is that it was fully co-op. I actually got to play this from start to finish with my co-hosts from the Rocket Launcher podcast. We went through the entire game as well as the DLC and had a lot of fun going against the bosses as well as just playing around in the game. The game is definitely a lot more of a challenge compared to what Code Vein was, but you'll definitely have a fun experience if you go into it co-op. This is definitely a co-op game that is Souls based. Alright, so I want to talk about another game that's more of a game that people probably have heard before, a lot of people. I'm not sure it's too much of a hidden gem, but you can find this game really, really cheap. It's actually 2 games in one, and that is Batman Return to Arkham. This has both Batman Arkham City and Arkham Asylum in it. From the two, my favorite was actually Arkham City. It was more open world. It's definitely a hidden gem if you haven't played it back on the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. I actually played the PS4 version of Batman Arkham City and the PS3 version of Arkham Asylum. I will say the Arkham City game is just phenomenal. Arkham City was such a huge step up from Arkham Asylum, and I believe that if you play both games, you'll definitely notice that. This is a game that's just very cheap nowadays, especially during the holiday season. If you buy it digitally on the PS4 or on the Xbox One or PS5 and Series X, I'm pretty sure you're going to find the bundle where they put all three games in one. That's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight for as low as like $10. I'm almost guaranteeing you that you're going to see something like that this holiday season coming up. Definitely look out for that bundle around Black Friday. Alright, the last game I wanted to touch on that I think is a hidden gem is actually one that's like a little bit more nostalgic for me. It's not really too much of a hidden gem, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know about it at the time, and that's going to be the Ghostbusters game, the remastered version. This game was so fun to me, as just a nostalgia trip. According to my research, this is the official Ghostbusters 3 that never happened. And they went ahead and did like a whole nother cast in 2016 and then another cast like just recently, and people didn't like those films as much as they liked the originals, obviously, because the original had the original cast. The game as a whole was just fun. It was just fun. It was clean. It was old school humor that I haven't heard in years. Everybody is here to voice act their parts. It was just a phenomenal little throwback, and I recommend it to whoever is hardcore Ghostbusters fans, or maybe not hardcore, but you're just into the nostalgia. I was into the nostalgia a lot, and I think that a lot of people was into it back in the 80s. It was just a huge franchise. Very huge franchise, and so I enjoyed this very well. It has some hiccups here and there, but I'm pretty sure you'll get that cool experience from playing Ghostbusters, the video game, because it's something that's a part of the culture overall. If you're into those type of movies, the sci-fi, this is like one of the original sci-fis, and they did it correctly back then. It was just good, fun humor, and so you get to relive that in the game, and this is definitely Ghostbusters 3 for anybody who was curious about the story. Okay, so those are some of the games that I would consider some hidden gems that I felt like I got a AAA experience out of in different ways. For Ghostbusters, it would be for the nostalgia. For Batman, it would just be for an awesome superhero game. For the Remnant from the Ashes or Code Vein, it's like the Souls-like experience that's not from Software. Transformers, because I'm just a huge Transformer fan. They gave me these AAA experiences in different ways, and they're all older. Some of them hidden gems. This might be a hidden gem for everybody. I guarantee you every game that I mentioned you'll probably find for $20 or less. They're still very open and available everywhere, except for Transformers. That one you might have to go Steam Deck for. I don't know, unless you can find it at a mom and pop store. It's not necessarily something that's sought after yet. I would suggest trying to find a PC version out there, because you get to play it with a modern controller or any controller, and then you can up the resolution a little bit too. Other than that, that's all I got for you here. This is like my first ever like hidden gem video, so let me know what you think down below. Other than that, Rocket Launcher podcast every Sunday 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check us out, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.